Okay, it is 1 o'clock, so we're going to get started this week's Technology PD. We've got a lot on our plate today, and I've been getting a lot of questions or similar questions to answer, so we'll go ahead and go through those. If you have questions as we go forward, today we're going to go from 1 to about 1:30, so if you have questions that aren't getting answered as we go forward from this week, just let me know, throw it in the chat. Every once in a while, for those of you guys joining us new, you'll see me turn over here and look. And I have another laptop going that I can try to check the chat as we go. So this week's topic, what we're going to talk about is Google Meet. There are some new features that are rolling out, what those are, how it's going to work, and that kind of stuff. So I'll let you know that. Also, advisory for the high school. I know high school advisories have some kind of unique tools that they want to use and things that they have to do. So I'll show you some shortcuts there to make your life easier. And finally, the big drum roll, the thing that everybody's been waiting for, Infinite Campus connection to Google Classroom. Now we're going to talk about it today. I'm not going to do a walkthrough in this environment right now. We're right now actively creating a video tutorial of that process. And the reason why is if I try to walk you through it right now as we're going, it'd just be too many options for something to go wrong, right? So we're going to create a video tutorial and a web page that has all the different pieces of information you'll need. I'm going to show you some of the stuff. There's some preparation things that you can be doing to get ready for that conversion, to go from Google Classroom and what it's doing for you and what the scoring and so forth, and bring that into Infinite Campus. So we will do all of that. This is recorded. We will be posting them on that same bit.ly that we shared earlier, the bit.ly/RSU19 support. So we will do that afterward. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to present now, show everybody my screen. You guys can all see me. All right. So first up, we'll make sure we're clear that so the new options from Google Meet are in beta. Well, what is beta? Well, basically what that means with computer stuff is they'll roll things out, and people that are willing to take the risk to try things out can turn it on. Okay. So what that means is it's not fully baked. It's pretty close. And the reason why they do rollouts of beta with computer, with technology, with different, software and so forth, is basically to kick the tires to get all the bugs out. So if they opened up something immediately to everybody, if it's a new feature, and something goes wrong, it's going to be wrong for all those people who joined or all the people that are using it. If they do a subset, a beta set of users, what that means is basically if something goes wrong, it's just for a subset. And usually if people opt in for the beta, they take on that risk. They say, I'm willing to, if something goes wrong, I understand they're still trying to figure things out. I'm going to show you the tools. Right now, we do not have this turned on for everybody. That means that there'll be things on here that you won't see yet. If anybody, I'm willing to take the chance and try the beta, email me or email tech, and we can certainly add you to that chat and add you to that list. No problem. It's working pretty well. There are sometimes when Google Meets will crash, and that's why we haven't pushed it out to everybody. We want to make sure it's as stable as it can be. Because it's mission critical. If you have a class and you're using Google Meets and you want to make sure all the kids are there and so forth, you don't want it to crash midway. So they announced it'll be released fully this month by the end of September. So that's coming right up, obviously. It's a good sign that it's in beta because that means that they've done a lot of the testing they need to from their end. And I would guess that within a week or so, maybe two, I don't think it'd be that long, but let's say 2 weeks, no more, it'll be ready for everybody that wants to. But if you're somebody that wants to try it out, kick the tires and let me know. Just email me and I'll certainly add you to the list. Let's go through kind of what that looks like and what some of the changes are. So some of the features, if you're in the new version, the first thing here, I'm in my regular Google Meet, and you guys have joined Classroom just like your students will. Down at the bottom here on the 3 dots, like we've done before, I can click on this. Let me actually hide this for a second. And click on this. So right up at the top, there's a new feature right here called Jamboard. So it connects a Jamboard or whiteboard with your Google Meet. So if I open up a new Jamboard right here, I can start a new one, or I can open up an existing one. Let's start a new one. This will automatically give access to everybody who's in this Google Meet. So your class, for example. Can they view it or can they edit it? Can they make changes? Again, that's up to you. If you wanted to show students something, everybody's watching it while you're working on something on a Jamboard, kind of like a digital whiteboard, you can do that. Or if you want to allow them to edit it. So I'm going to actually click edit here and let all you guys be able to see it as well. So we'll pop it up. Here it is. Okay. This is in effect a digital whiteboard. So I think we've mentioned about Jamboard before. It's not the most fully featured tools, but it's pretty good to use if you have, especially if you have a touchpad or touch screen to be able to do so. Over on the left side here, I can see my pen, my drawing tool. I can choose a different color, choose a different thickness. I can draw. This is open now. If I click share, I can see here the crystals in there. You guys all have access to this. So if you look back in the chat, you'll see a link there now in the chat that you can click on if you want to, and you'll be able to see this Jamboard. You can join, and again, I purposely made it so you can edit as well. So you can join something. You can come on here and write something. Now, again, could be problematic, right? If you open this up for students, if they're all kind of making things, yeah, Crystal's writing hi, perfect. You can see who's doing it. You can see little icons there. You can add sticky notes in here. Hello. All right, we'll put a little sticky note over here. Hello, my name is. We'll move that over here. So this is purposely designed. Yeah, great. Somebody added a smiley face. So I can also add image over here on the left side, just regular images. I can search for Google Images or my own Google Photos. Let me see if I can find one. We've been doing some drone photos. I don't know if that was it right there. One of the new ones. We just been doing that. I think this week with broadcasting, some of our kids have been doing drone footage. Let's see if this is one of the new ones. We'll throw a cool picture in there. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So again, use cases are up to you. What would be appropriate? Again, you don't have to open it up so people can edit it. You could just make it view only, so you could be writing on it, but everybody could be watching it. When you're done with this, when you use these tools, if you want to, I'll show another thing while I'm in here, the background. So if you do want to make some different types of backgrounds here, here's some dots. Or let's say you're doing graph paper, you want lines or lines here. I do know we have a handful of styluses or styli. I know we've given a bunch out, but I think we have a few more. So if it's helpful to you for a touch screen, there's another picture. Very good. Awesome. See, Yvonne threw that on there. Excellent. Thank you, Yvonne. Turning it good. So when I'm done here, if I want to take this whiteboard here or this Jamboard, I click share in the upper right. I could right now, as the owner, me that created this, I could turn this off for everybody. So now we all worked on it, and now it's kind of frozen, like nobody else can edit it. I could also share this with other individuals. I could keep sharing this beyond, or down at the bottom here, I could click on this, and I could even share it beyond our school. I can make it public. Anybody with a link be able to see that. So if that's something that you wanted people to work on and share and show, you could do all of that. That's usually the big stuff. You can save it as a PDF. You can save it as an image right there. I can make a copy of it. One thing that Jamboard does not do, which I actually think is a failing of it, and maybe they'll change this going forward, but it doesn't save this in your Google Drive. It saves it under its own area in Jamboard, so jamboard.google.com. So if I click myself up here in the upper left, you see the little icon, the little kind of yellow and orangish, I think it's supposed to be a J. Click on that. And here are my Jamboards that I've created or used or whatever. So it has kind of its own little home or dashboard where it saves those. But again, you can share these with kids and do all kinds of cool, fun things with them. All right, I'm going to stop that. That's still there. I'm not going to delete it. So if you want to keep playing on that, you're welcome to. And close that down. You can send it in a drive. Excellent. Thank you, Ellen. Let's all pull that up. Let's go see how we do that. So if I have this Jamboard here, where would I put them in Drive?
Yes. I think you have to go to Drive and then like request them from there. I've only done it once. I watched a YouTube video because I was agreeing with you that it was annoying that they weren't in my Drive. So there's a YouTube video out there somewhere.
All right. Well, I will research that, find out, and we'll do that for next week. That's great. I'll have to look because I didn't realize you could pull them into Drive. But we'll figure that out. Awesome. Thanks, Ellen. Crystal asks, do they automatically save? Yes, they do. But also realize, I think of them kind of like as a regular physical whiteboard, because right now a student could win. Because this is open, another student could grab the eraser and they could erase somebody else's work, right? It's not meant to be like, unlike a Google Doc or a slide or that kind of stuff where that could happen, but you can always undo everything. You see every variation, every revision history. This one is a little bit more open-ended. So again, there are times and places for that, but just be aware of that if you're using this for something mission critical. All right, awesome. We're gonna keep going here with other tools in our new versions here. So I clicked that 3 dots here in the bottom right. We did whiteboard here. Recording is the same as been before. I'm going to do breakout rooms in a second. We're going to skip that one and come back to it because I want to spend some time with that. I'm going to go to change layout right here. So this is a new tool that's been extended in the beta version. So right here, Spotlight we've done before. But if I go to tiled, before I could only do up to 16 at a time, I now can drag this over. And I can do up to 49 people right here. Now I'm presenting my screen. That's why this looks big up here. But if I wasn't presenting right now, I could just see everybody's as a kind of Brady Bunch style tiled version, see everybody's video here. I don't know that anybody has a class that has more than 49 students in it, so I think that'd be fine that way. But that's a new feature again in the new version here. That's under change layout. Let's switch that back to Spotlight. Switch back over here. And here I am again. Okay, now let's talk breakout rooms. So if I click on the 3 dots, breakout rooms right here. This has been so far, this part of the tool right now has been the flakiest. And what I mean by that is the most likely to crash it. It could, right now, as we're working on this, crash this out. I'm in the beta version right now. If it crashes this, that's kind of what you're getting with the beta version. It's not 100% baked. And if it happens, you just kind of roll with it. So what you can do as a teacher here, as the host, the first thing I come up there, it came up here and it said, look, 13 rooms. It automatically put that in there, but I can change that. I'm going to make this into, we'll just say 3 rooms. So the 3 different breakout rooms. Here's my main room. Here I am. It puts breakout room 1. It puts 17 people in it. It shows me their icons. It shows me their names over here. I could drag somebody. If I want to put somebody from one room to the other, I can move them around that way. I could drag it up here if I want to. I can see the different rooms. I can shuffle them if I don't like that order. Oh, I want to shuffle them again, so they'll rearrange who's in there. I can wipe them out if I need to. We're going to try this. Hopefully it won't crash it. If it does, if the meet goes down right now as we try this, just go back to where we were before, that remote support link, and just click and join the meet again. We'll join it again in a second. But we're going to try this right here. I'm going to click create. You will all go to a breakout room with just the subset of people. So about, I think, 17 of them per group. And then we'll bring back together. I'll click a button and bring everybody back together in a second. So let's try it out. Breakout rooms are in session. It shows me up at the top here. It shows me that people are in breakout rooms. This is for the recording for you guys at home right now. I know I'm kind of talking to myself, but I can also see right here, I can join these breakout rooms. So I'm going to join one of them. So I'm just explaining that what I saw from the teacher's end for breakout rooms, it splits it up into the 3 rooms. I can see who's in each one. I can click join and go into any of them and see what's going on. I can leave. I can't be in all 3 at once. I can't click a button to be on all 3, but I can go into one of them, watch or listen or whatever, remove myself, go back into another one, and kind of back and forth. And when you're done up here, there'll be a button that says end all breakout rooms, and everybody will be brought back together. So that's kind of what happened here. So I can see. So here's a new user here. Isaac's in here. So I'm going to throw Isaac into breakout room 1. I just dragged it down if I want to, kind of in the main room subsets. Questions about breakout rooms. Like I said, this has been super helpful. I played with this in our class, my broadcasting class with students. The biggest issue is if it was going to crash, that's when I've had it crash before, is right about there, when I kind of implemented that. Any questions either in the chat or in the...
I had to click join in order to join. I presume we'll just have to inform the students, like, yeah, it's going to break you to this one, but you have to click join. Good
thought. Thank you, Nate. And the other thing about that, the reason why I'll show you where that happens. You can choose to do that or on or not. And the reason why they do is they also inform you that it's recording. So just as a notification, like, oh, just so you know, this video is being recorded at the same time. So Sue asked, can you also see the chat in each breakout room? You can when you join it, but you can't see all 3 at once. Okay. One thing that I don't know the answer to that we're going to know after today is right now, typically when you record, it records the chat as a Google Doc of your recording. So it will do that. I'm curious if it will record each separate breakout room in that document. I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to find out after today because we'll go check it out. So Darcy asked, where do you find the icon for the breakout room icon? You do not have it yet. So nobody has it unless you want it. And the reason why that's a question, why you say, well, Kern, just push it out for everybody. Because it's still beta. And what that means is it's still not fully baked. It could crash. It may not. This one worked okay. If you want to do that, let me know. Email me or email tech. We can absolutely put you in the beta version. Just realize if it's really flaky and crashes a lot, you may want to be then taken out of the beta version. I'm not willing to yet push everybody just into it so we all have it, because I'm nervous about putting people into it and then it crashes all the time. They have problems. But if anybody's willing to take that on, that possible risk, it's not the end of the world. I don't want to make it sound worse than it is. But just know that that's what's going on. That's why. At some point, hopefully within another couple of weeks, it will not be in beta anymore. It'll just be built in for everybody, and everybody will have these. And then Yvonne asked, can the teacher jump into the breakout rooms? Yes. And again, I know you couldn't see that from your angle, but it is in the recording. So basically, you as the teacher, I could see each breakout room on the side. Actually, I'll just show you. I won't do it, but I'll just show you what it looks like right here. So over here on the right side, it would show me, it said breakout room 1, breakout room 2, and so forth, breakout room 3. I could just click join right there, and I could go into one, listen, look, whatever, and I could, join back.
You're not presenting right now, by the way, Kern, so we couldn't see that.
It must have kicked me off when I brought everybody back together. There we go. So if I want to pull that up as a teacher, I'll click on here, the 3 dots in the lower right-hand corner, go to breakout rooms right here. So if I created new ones again, like I did a few minutes ago, it would just show a little join link right here. And it would say, oh, join this breakout room. So I can click on that, go into breakout room 1, leave it, come back out to the main one, go back into it. Again, there's always going to be a main room. That's the room we're in right now, the virtual room we're in right now is the main room. And then the breakout rooms kind of go subset beyond that. So obviously, as we get going with this, I think this will be super useful for classes, right? So we'll have that built right in and very handy. The other thing I wanted to share. Okay, host controls. Okay. So under settings here, so somebody asked about the chat and other types of things like turning that off or presenting. Right now, by default, anybody can kind of take over the presenting button down here in the lower right. If I click on the 3 dots, and we'll go to settings, host controls over here on the left, okay? So these are some options you as the host, as the teacher, have. You can turn off quick access. And what that means, you probably are not going to turn that off for your students. But if we wanted to do a Google Meet that didn't just have your Google Classroom kids in it, but had other people from outside, you could turn that off, and then you would have to admit them one by one. A little window would pop up and say, do you admit this person, yes or no? So you can toggle that on and off. People can't join anonymously, right? Only hosts can dial out of the meeting. So you'd be basically in control of what's going on. Let everyone share their screen. So if I turn that off, that means that nobody else except for you can click the present button and share your screen. Again, it's an option for you. Send chat messages. I can turn chat totally off so that it just doesn't appear for the students or for anybody else. I'm going to leave these on for you guys. But again, this is right under settings, the 3 dots in the lower right corner, settings, and host controls right here. All right. Also a new feature. That's pretty cool. Up here on the right, I can also, there's a quicker, if I click on the chat up here, the host controls are right here too, up at the top. Let everyone send messages. I can turn that off right here, same place. This little icon up here looks kind of like a puzzle piece, and usually that's added features. So I now have the ability to do polls and Q&A. Okay, so if I do a poll, we'll start a poll right here. I will say your flavor of ice cream. And I'll just put a couple in here. I had 2 more options. Again, obviously I could type forever. And I don't know. All right. I'm going to save this. Here it is. I can actually add more if I want to go back and edit it. Do I allow everyone to see the results or not? I'm going to say yes, so we can see it as we do it. Let's launch it, and let's start the poll. Oops, that's wrong. That's the wrong one. That's the first one. So this one's live. So you should see over on the left side here. You should see a link there. And I see one vote right here. Somebody voted for vanilla. And we can watch this right here. We can actually watch it live. Okay, one person voted for chocolate. We got one for coffee. I know there's a lot of flavors that I didn't put on there, but you get the idea. This is just kind of a fun activity you could do with kids if you need to ask them, like, how's everybody doing or whatever. Just kind of collect data and have that available. 11 votes. Right now, coffee's in the lead. Chocolate's going close behind. Do a couple more. If I'm happy with this, if I'm done, I can end the poll right here. And now it's basically frozen, right? So you can't see it. Over on the right side. So I just turned it off, Jess, but over on the right side. If you know back here in the upper right, you'll see this little icon. Okay, I'll do questions next, and you can answer that one. You voted twice? Yes. Yeah, this does not lock it down to one vote per person. Another good question, can polls be pre-made for Google Meets and reused for multiple classes? You could copy some text if you want to, but they're not saved. They're not like a bunch of polls ready to go, and you can just click a button and pull them in. They're kind of like, you could obviously save like a doc with like the questions in it if you wanted to, but it doesn't save them. As far as I know, like I said, this is a new beta tool, so as far as I know, this doesn't like save them that way. Questions? Let's turn on Q&A in here. So allow questions. I'm going to ask a question. What is your favorite school lunch? All right, can we click post? So you should see over on the right side, you can have multiple questions. Choose answer them, who hasn't. Order them by popular ones. You could actually allow your students to ask questions as well. I don't want to mark it's done yet. I can see right here, answers right here, 1, 2.
I'm seeing an upvote option, but not an option to answer the question.
You should have a, oh, I don't want hidden. It doesn't give you a box. Maybe that's changed. I did it yesterday and it was, well, I'll have to look into that because yesterday it gave us a box that kids could type into with the broadcasting kids. All right, well, I'll play with that one. See existing questions. I'm not sure. A box should have come up. That's what happened yesterday with it, unless they changed it. This is beta, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is the type of stuff that if you're willing to kind of roll with it as stuff comes up, then that's the kind of stuff that happens. All right. And one last thing with the new Meet layout. We did that, breakout rooms, host control, chat. That's pretty much it.
Kurt,
okay.
we were able to answer, but it seems like on our screen it says ask a question, and it looks like that's us responding to the question.
Yeah, I can turn, here we go, right here. There's the answers. Like I said, I saw this yesterday. So you should be able to either ask your own questions right here, or I can turn that off, right? I can say you're not allowed to, but you should be able to answer mine. Yesterday, the kids got a box that they can just type in. So I'll play with that and we'll figure this out. We got lots of pizza. School pizza is great. All right. So I'm going to, I want to make sure I covered all this. Okay. So 2 more things that I want to share today before we can kind of wrap it up. I do have a meeting at 1:30, so we do have to kind of be on time here. But I want to share the Infinite Campus from Google Classroom Infinite Campus thing. And I also want to talk about for high school advisories kind of a quick tip. Actually, we'll do that first, because that'll just take 2 seconds. So if you are the advisory of your, for high school students, and this might work for middle school teachers as well, you can kind of figure this out, makes sense for you. But in your Google Classroom for advisory, under people, you could add yourself as a guardian for your students. Okay, now I talked to a couple teachers and like, I'm not really a guardian, and I get that. So don't worry about the terminology here. All that means is if you invite yourself as a guardian, you can still have the parents can be invited. Like, it doesn't matter. You can have up to 20 people as far as emails that are going to get information. It's just a summary of what they owe and what they have coming up. So as an advisory for, you have 15, 20 students, you'll just get an email. Again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is optional. But it would just be an easy way for you to look by a student and say, oh, did you know you owe this in science and this in math? Like, you'll just get a summary of that information without having to go kind of check it down. So again, if you come into your Google Classroom for your advisory, click on people. Down here where it says invite guardians, even if there's already a guardian, you would still click on that link and you could just add more than one person. If I wanted to add 2 people here, I'll just add 2 different email addresses just to show you. I could add as many as I want, up to 20, and they'll just receive that. Again, it's a one-way thing, so they're not going to see that you're receiving that information as well. Okay, so that's just kind of a tip that I know because some people are asking me about. If you don't see here that says invite guardians, even the option, email me and we'll fix that. Again, I think we've got everybody, but in case somebody fell through the cracks, we'll let you know why. We can fix that, no problem. The other piece, as far as Infinite Campus goes, okay, so this is our classroom right now that doesn't have any grades really, because we're just kind of sample with our teachers and so forth. But again, it's not that this is beta, but we're figuring out right now exactly all the steps that you will need to do. And we want to give those to you guys. We want to give you step 1, step 2, step 3, very straightforward directions on how to implement this. It's not hard, but we don't want to have a situation where we put it out there and then like, oh, we did that wrong. We're going to go back and do it a different way. So we're working on right now video tutorials and tech tutorials on the steps that you follow to do this. In a Google Classroom, up here on the upper right, I click a little gear. If I scroll down a little bit, you'll see right here, it will say export grades to the SIS, link this class to your SIS class. SIS stands for Student Information System, and in our case, it's Infinite Campus. Okay, so those two things are going to be connected. When I click link, it's going to ask me which Infinite Campus course do I want to link this Google Classroom with. Okay, so the very first thing before you do anything is you want to go into your Infinite Campus and make sure that your classes are all correct and reflect what you really have, and the student lists are accurate, because it's going to connect those to your Google Classroom lists, right? So if you have a student that's in one but not in the other one, that could be problematic. So you want to take the time before you kind of click that link and turn it on. You want to make sure that you go through your Infinite Campus. They all look right. They're all correct. Your student list is correct. It's not that it can't be changed afterward. It's just easier to do it right the first time, right? Like anything. So if you have, then you can come back to your Google Classroom. You'll click the link to class, and then it will give you a pull down of what classes you want to link to. Okay, the naming conventions of that may not match exactly because it's called whatever they called it in the guidance, right? Whatever they called your class, but just make sure it's the same one. Once you've done that once, you're good. That means that lessons and assignments that you created and scored in Google Classroom will automatically pull over into Infinite Campus. A couple caveats with that. One, it's a one-way thing. That means it goes from Google Classroom to Infinite Campus. It doesn't go from Infinite Campus back. So if you already created assignments in Infinite Campus, they're going to stay there, but they're not going to get pulled over, obviously. Also, if you pull that information from Google Classroom into Infinite Campus, if you make a change in Infinite Campus, let's say I have an assignment and I score Johnny and he gets 90, and then it goes into Infinite Campus, and then I go to Infinite Campus and rescore it. Oh, now it's a 95. It's going to get overwritten by the original score from Google Classroom. So you want Google Classroom to be the canonical place where you put scores in, right, to pull it over. The other thing, and this is the part that we're going to do a tutorial in, and I'll just explain what it is, but I'm not going to expect people to know all the steps, but we'll have a video tutorial and steps on how to do it, is the categories, how the process of categories lining up and scoring them correctly. Again, I can explain it to you, but we'll have a video for you guys to watch and do it that way. Okay, so it is ready for use, but we're just being very careful because we want to make sure this kind of it's easier to do it right the first time. So we're really going to have the tutorials and all the steps and all that process, so we can answer your questions before we just like have everybody start blasting it. If you want to play with it, you can click on that link and you'll see this little window will pop up, and you can pull down different classes. You can link those if you want to kick the tires, but make sure your Infinite Campus lists are accurate. First. Make sure your Google Classrooms lists are accurate, and then you'll do that connection. All right. questions? We should have that video tutorial for that by next week, if not before, but I would say certainly by next Wednesday, if not before that. You are very welcome. All right, thanks everybody. It's 1:30, so I do my best to keep it on time. This is recorded. Again, if you missed something or want to share this with anybody who wasn't here, we'll throw it right on that site. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you guys next week.